Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Tom, the Turtle Trader. We are going to talk about Palo Alto Networks tonight, and today is August 11th, Tuesday. So, Palo Alto Networks had another great day today. It actually finished at an all-time high. Actually hit 387, but it's pulled back now after hours 383.80, and it continues to push up. So we want to talk about Palo Alto Networks from a swing perspective. I'd like to look at this as a swing trade for you guys, and we're going to take a look at where we're going to go with Palo Alto Networks. So let me share my screen here real quick with you guys. Let me get that out. Take a look at the screens. All right. So first thing I want to look at is I want to look at Palo Alto Networks overall. Palo Alto Networks obviously is a cybersecurity company, as most of you know. Their ticker symbol is PANW. And the question is today, do we still have room to move up with Palo Alto Networks uh, earnings coming up in 20 days? So let's take a look at the charts. We'll take a look at some information here on tip ranks, take a look at some analysts, and then see what we got for a potential swing trade for you guys for the next couple of weeks. So Palo Alto Networks again, one of the world's leading cybersecurity businesses, does network security, does cloud security, security operations for businesses and government organizations. Has its basically it's in everything as far as businesses and government. Of course, cybersecurity is just continue to grow, right? We see that across the sector. Cybersecurity is really strong, especially the more AI we get, the more you can need defenses against it. So cybersecurity is just going to continue to grow long term in the future. So great investment overall, I believe, in the cybersecurity sector. So let's take a look at some of the things I like to take a look at where we start analyzing a stock. So I like tip ranks because it gives some really great information here. It's really easy to read, it's easy to pick up. You go to the main page, the overview page right here. It gives you a smart score. A smart score on tip ranks basically combines a lot of things. It combines technical analysis, combines hedge funds, combines news related stuff, and it just puts it all into an overall score. When you start seeing seven, eight, nine, really eight, nine, and 10, it starts hitting the outperform range. That's a really strong momentum move based on that information. It gives you all your good information here, right? Your day's range, your 52-week range. I mean, this is crazy, right? This stock, since I believe May, no, sorry, not May, May this year, right around here, yeah, May of this year. We were looking at 162. Now we're at 383. So more than double, right? Amazing. Next earnings is September 1st. EPS estimates right now 98. I mean, we're looking really good. Price to earnings, right? Technology price to earnings kind of goes out the door a lot of times. We like to look at those, but um, I like to look at some other things, right? Their financials are great. If you look at their financials, you go back, right, year over year, they just keep growing, right? 4.2, 5.5, 6.9, 8, and then last year 9.2 billion. So they're doing really well as far as that goes. Continue to grow as a company. We can look at some interesting things here. One of the things I like to look at is our hedge funds buying. So hedge funds actually loaded up on this the past quarter, over 2.5 million shares. There we go, hedge funds. They added a lot lately. So they added, right? This is great. They've been adding and adding and adding to Palo Alto. So when hedge funds are buying, that's a good sign, right? Institutional ownership is a good sign of a company's strength and their belief in it, right? Because they're not buying stocks just to own them, hoping they're going to go up. So that is kind of an overview of it, right? Again, 2.4 million shares last quarter, right here, right, guys? This is great, right here. 2.4 million shares. All right, so hedge funds holding, you can see it's dramatically increased ever since, again, May, right? It's really ramped up. Hedge funds confidence signal is very positive. What are the analysts saying? Well, analysts right now, the overall analyst report is down. They're predicting downside, but we got earnings running up. But you got 37 buys, 5 holds, no sells. So that's great. I like to sort these. I want to look at top ranked people. I also like to add the AI just to get a non-emotional view of it. And then we look at analyst ratings for the buys. Let's look at some upside. All right, we got some great. I mean, our our friends at Grok and Gemini give it buy ratings 328 to 421. Oppenheimer moved up recently, just a couple days ago, 350 to 420, 400. So we've still got some room to the upside on it based on analyst rating, but analysts aren't everything. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at the charts also. So let's go to the charts. So Palo Alto Networks. Let's look at the weekly chart here real quick. Right, we're seeing tremendous growth. We're looking at our EMAs here. Actually, let's get some of these lines that I drew earlier. Get rid of those for you guys real quick. All right. So our EMAs, we've got strong move. Look at this. This is down here. This is the 200 down here, this maroon line. So we had this from February. It just kept bouncing up to 200 to 200, and then finally just started taking off here in mid-April. So it found its support on the 200 and then just took off. And then we had all these crossovers back here on the EMAs back in early May. And Palo Alto just steadily climbed. Even when we get some red days, it doesn't hold, right? It just kind of resets. Red day reset, and continue to move up. It's respecting. This yellow line here is your 9. So it's been holding the 9 the whole time on a weekly. This white line here is your 20. This is your 50, the purple, 100, and the 200. So it is fanning out. We got proper EMA, dismiss. We got proper EMA structure here. It's stacked. This is the weekly. The volume is holding well. We do have a little bit of heat on the RSI. It's at 70, almost 74 on the weekly. So we could see a little pullback before it continues up, just to kind of reset, cool off a bit. MACD looks great right down here. Let's take a look at where we could go with this from a weekly perspective. So since we're already at all-time high, and we know that because we could just scroll to the left and nothing's there, right? So where are we going with this? So easiest way to do this for me is do a Fibonacci trend base. So we're going to start down here where it started, down here back on March 30th, and then run this up to the top, which is today. And we're going to pull back to this structure right here. I like to see right around where it kept touching the 9. I just like this. This is strong structure right here. You could go higher here. I want to be a little more conservative for everybody. That's just the way I like to be, right? The turtle trader, slow, steady. That's going to win the race for you guys. So based off of this, our next level here is going to be 400. We need to break today's high of 387. What was today's high? Today's high was, yeah, 387.20. Perfect. So you can see right here, the high up here, 387.20. So then we're going to look for a break above that. Our next level is going to be 431. Then we've got the 50% here at 428. 60%, the golden ratio right here, the pocket, right? 456.26. And then the full 100% be all the way up here at 546. Now, that's a big stretch, right? That's $160 or so. So that's a big move. Now, Palo Alto historically, if you look at earnings, tends to dip a little bit at earnings, right? So we had our last earnings here back in right here. We had a dip, see the red dip, and then pull back and then go. Earnings here, dip, right? Before we started moving up again. Earnings dip, right? All these earnings dip. The CEO of Palo Alto it tends to be very conservative. The company has outperformed the last 4 quarters, ranging from 4 to 10% on average. Right around maybe 6%, 6.5% outperform on average the past 4 quarters, so the full year. But the CEO tends to be very conservative with forecasting for the coming. year with maybe some headwinds, and those will make the stock pull back, which actually isn't bad because if you're a patient trader, they actually could get in a better entry point. If it does say it does run up to this 428, they have earnings. Again, earnings are coming up right here. Earnings are on August 31st. Some say August 31st, some say September 1st, so it's right around there. And then if it does pull back, that would actually create a better entry point for you guys to get in and move up. But if you want to play this as a swing trade run up to earnings, I do like this for that. Palo Alto does tend to run up right before earnings. And so you could play a swing trade here. You could do maybe a credit spread. You could do some options if you wanted to, right? Just make sure the data, either way out like a leap or the dated shorter, maybe 2 weeks right before they'll go expire right before earnings. So looking at the daily, again, I like it again on the daily. We still see that EMA stacked, right? We get all the EMAs beautifully stacked. Palo Alto is running great along the 20. Again, had to dip down here, and then where everybody else dipped back here a couple weeks ago, and then pull back up. Again, our Fibonacci has not changed. Our EMA down here is about 69, so it's still running a little hot. So I could still see where this might come back here to right here, I marked it here, maybe the 371 level to pull back and reset. So we had a lot of resistance here, so we could pull back to reset. If Palo Alto does not break above today's high and start pushing to that 400, could it come back? Sure, it could. This could actually come back to, like I said, actually can go back here, retest the 370 area, which would be a great entry point for us going long. Or we could see it pull back where? We could see it pull back down to next level be around here, 349 maybe, right? Touching that 20. Yeah, let's get rid of the fib here for us. With a nice clear chart for you guys. So this is our 20. We could see a pullback here. That wouldn't even again, that still wouldn't be a bad pullback right before we continue up. Before we continue, we can see it pull back, and then bounce up, right? And continue to go. So let's be patient. Let's wait on the confirmation. Again, we want to see a break above today's high with a closed candle on a daily before we look at it to continue to move up. If it doesn't, it could trade sideways for a little bit. We could see a pullback here to around 370, which actually would be a healthy pullback right about midway of this green candle. Let's get rid of these drawings. So we could see it pull back to here. Right around here, 375, halfway of this green candle, or maybe the 371, or 370, excuse me, what did I say, 370? And then we could see it continue to go. So one thing we do need to watch is at that 400 level, that's a psychological level, guys. It could create some resistance or profit taking. We got to be aware of psychological levels whenever we're trading. Institutions like those levels more than anybody else. They like to see those nice break-even levels of solid, those zeros, fives kind of levels. And then if it does break through that, we could see this continue to push up to that 404, 405 mark, and then continue to run up again like the 423. So my overall look for Palo Alto does remain bullish. Again, breaking into new highs, momentum strong, MACD is bullish. Trend-based Fibonacci gives us a reasonable first target of 4,485. So I hope this helps you guys. Again, this is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. Do your own due diligence, do your own charting, do your own research, and let me know how it goes. I will be watching this, guys, with you guys. If I do take a position, I will let you guys know. And until then, remember, slow and steady wins the race. That is the way of the turtle. All right, guys, have a great night.